I am on a trip to India, where I grew up and I spent my childhood. I have memories of hot summer afternoons gathering the yellow oleander flowers. These were ample where I lived, and on this visit, I want to paint these as an ode to their beauty. If you live somewhere warm, then you perhaps have seen these flowers as they are pretty universal, and I'm sure you too have some part of your childhood connected with these. And you perhaps also know that these are fairly poisonous, and as a child, this meant that we had stories and anecdotes connected with these, which made them even more interesting. It is no wonder that I remember these flowers to the date. To paint these, I'm using my newly found locally made vintage watercolor paper and Daniel Smith's basic set of 12, the travel set. If you're painting along, then please see list of supplies in the description. And if you're here to just watch, then enjoy the beauty of the yellow oleander flower. for this yellow oleander, here are all the colors we used. And this is a really common summer flower here, and it's used in religious offerings, and it's a popular flower otherwise for the road dividers, for avenues. I mean, it's a really pretty tree, and you get these clusters of trumpet like flowers, almost resembling like the daffodils, but not really daffodils. It's just like a plain trumpet. It's less complex than the daffodils, but it's also a poisonous flower. You know, there have been many cases of intentional and unintentional poisoning as far as this flower is concerned, but it's a really common flower here in this region. So here are all the colors we used. So of course we used a bunch of yellows. Here's a Hansa Yellow Light. Hansa Yellow Light. This is a really bright yellow. I mean, it almost shines through the paper. And the next yellow, of course, is the Hansa Yellow Medium. Hansa Yellow Medium. And of course, the Hansa Yellow Deep. You know, so all three yellows kind of play their part in bringing this flower to life. And the only green I have in my palette here is sap green, but it does the job. And I mix in these yellows and I get all the shades I needed for the leaves. So sap green is what we used, and a very tiny bit of raw umber. Yeah, just like edges of the leaves, you know. So yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's all I used in this painting, and I really enjoyed how it turned out again on this vintage paper, which I, like I said, I picked up locally, and it kind of makes it look like a vintage card. So I totally enjoyed doing this, and yeah, I hope you give this a shot too.